Yet again, but still hasn't found the patient with the serious head injury.
Every time I meet somebody, they're saying, oh, it's the other way. No?
Yeah, because
she said it's down in the gorge. I said, yeah, we've already got that one covered. There's another one with a head injury.
Yeah. Okay, what do we want to do then, guys?
We're going to be heading east again, look for a car park next to the Crown Hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I meant everybody else. Just go back.
Yeah, Roger, will do. As I say, we have absolutely no idea where the head injury is.
The air ambulance crew is still looking for the casualty with the serious head injury.
Control to Air 393, Roger. We have contacted the caller again and got a more exact location. We'll pass the details to the second land ambulance en route. If you can attend to the leg injury, over.
Yeah, Roger to that. Are we taking this to mean that the head injury isn't serious, over?
Control to Air 393, we haven't had any further calls to E-team to, over.
Roger, we'll go and land as near as we can to the road ambulance.
Okay, Roger, thank you. 1750, control out.
Send 3 and 4s, we're going to a dance. I have never seen anything like it in my life.
What's going on, Graham?
There's some confusion actually with messages being passed on from control and the phone calls that are going to control from the member of public. First of all, we were told we had a person with a fractured leg, which we were quite happy to come and get. Then we were told there was someone with a head injury, which could be more serious, and we'd rather take the head injury by air, get them as quickly as possible to a hospital for treatment, and let the fractured leg go by road. It turns out that there's confusion over the head injury. We can't locate it, and it's just come out that it's minor anyway.
What's happening, John?
Got a lady with a fractured femur who's fractured it in the gorge. We're just going to now take her into Leeds General. We've got her on board the ambulance. She's got fluids running through her. Giving her analgesia. It's just now a matter of getting her in and getting her sorted out with the fracture. So we're just going to try and arrange the aircraft now to get her down to Leeds.
Heading towards the helicopter, Natasha.
Right, I'll shut this off now until I get you on the aircraft.
Okay.
Just going to lie down on your tummy, is that all right? Can you hold that for me? That's lovely. Give another squirt of this.
The lady needs to go to Leeds General Infirmary, which is a rooftop landing site. The other pilot, Jim from the Squirrel, who's been carrying the camera crew, yourselves, is actually cleared to land on that rooftop landing site. Because I haven't worked for the West Yorkshire Police, I haven't been cleared on it yet. So because of the necessity, we're swapping aircraft, swapping crews. So Jim's going to take that one into Leeds General, and I'm now going to become part of the camera crew, which I'm really looking forward to, because I'm going to make them barf.
Helimed, this is Golf Oscar Romeo. Leeds approaches reading you. Go ahead with your message.
Golf Oscar Romeo from 63 Alpha. We're a helicopter for Helimed formation. 1 Twin Squirrel, 1 Volco 105, 3 POB on each. 1 casualty on the Volco. Like to route direct to the Leeds General, presently 20 miles to the north.
Map reading and navigation to help the helicopter get where it needs to be are just some of the skills the 4 doctors will be learning in ground school as they prepare to join the air ambulance crew.
Morning, gentlemen. Just... OK, over the next 2 weeks, you're going to have an awful lot of information pushed into you. And lots of that information you will not have come across before. A lot of technical information about the aircraft, how it actually works, theory of flight, navigation, meteorology, as Matty's mentioned in his earlier brief.
Lots of work, like I said, that we attend. Patients are badly injured. There's a limit to what experience we've got and what we can do for them. And I think the benefits to the patient having a doctor on board, they can take that step further, particularly with analgesia and that sort of thing, to stabilise the patient prior to getting them to hospital.
Eventually we came out.
I think the biggest challenge for these doctors is getting out there in the field, getting upside down in a car in a ditch when it's throwing it down with rain. And working in the dark, it's very difficult out there at times.
Be aware of the environment that you're in. It's not an operating theatre, it's not nice and quiet, or it hasn't got opera music in the background that you put on to play like they do in ER. It's a very, very noisy environment. It's a dangerous environment, and you're also moving into possibly a dangerous environment. Where the trauma's occurred, there's usually some sort of danger, be it from cars or fire equipment, cutting tools, that sort of thing. It's a medical problem that can come from that then.
Come across 300 feet as a maximum for attention.
And where did that come from? And then as you're picking up airspeed, you tilt the propellers so they then become rotors. And you can use them either way. So you can take off like a helicopter. But even that's only given them somewhere in the region of about 200, 250 knots.
I'm not feeling terribly great at all today. I've had the flu for a few days since the weekend, and yeah, not feeling great at all. Got a sore throat, bit achy, bit of a headache. Struggling a wee bit today.
You seem to be struggling to stay awake.
Yeah, well, I didn't sleep very well last night or the night before, just because I've had a blocked nose and a sore throat, and not sleeping very well at night. So these rooms are very warm. I'm finding it quite difficult to stay awake when they're talking to us.
And you're on call from 5 o'clock tonight until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yeah, as soon as we finish tonight, I have to go back to the hospital, and I'm on call covering obstetrics there tonight. And that's normally very busy, so I could be up all night looking after the pregnant ladies, and then back here again tomorrow morning for the rest of the course.
Undercarriage to avoid is this sharp bit here and this bit here. If you come walking round there and walk into that portion there, it's extremely painful on your shin. You'll want to cry, you won't cry because you're a grown-up and you're a man.
On the last day in the classroom, the doctors have to sit an exam to check how much they've learned in ground school. Scott and Syed, how are you feeling about the exam tomorrow?
I suppose we have to do it, so...
Yeah, it's got to be done. And,
yeah, I'd maybe been better if I'd stayed awake for more of the course, but can't help that too much.
You may begin. I think they should all have passed the exam. They're all obviously academically qualified, otherwise they wouldn't be doctors, they wouldn't be where they are now. Having said that, all the subjects that we've dealt with are relatively new to them or way past in their school days. So there's a lot of subjects, a lot of information to take in.
Syed has a reason for being particularly nervous about the exam. It also explains why he's the last one left completing the paper.
I was diagnosed dyslexic when I was at medical school in my final year. And one of the reasons why I probably hated medicine as much as I did during medical school was because I worked very, very hard and still kept failing all my exams. And then one day, and I have to mention his name because he was absolutely a star for me, which is Robin 2K, who was an A&E consultant at St Mary's Hospital, London. And he actually sat me down one day and said to me, "How long does it take you to read a page of medical reading?" And I said, "Well, like everybody else, 3 to 4 hours." And he looked at me astounded and said, "No, it takes most people 20 minutes, if not less." So he sent me away to the appropriate people to be assessed, which was an educational psychologist and disabilities people in the college. And they all looked at me kind of astounded and said, we're not entirely sure how you've come this far with the degree of disability that you've got. It was a shock at the time, as I suddenly thought, am I ever going to get further in medicine? But then I'm quite a determined person anyway, and I hate being told I'm not going to be able to do something. And that makes me very angry and makes me even more focused to carry on.
Well, you want to be wrapping up, Saeed, if you want to just quickly check through that you've got your name on there. Lovely. Thanks very much.
Syed is convinced he's failed the exam, even though he's been up all night revising.
Right, guys, I've marked all your papers if you'd like to go back into the classroom and we'll have a wee chat.
And even if you did, then you just go, oh, just play with it. Okay, mate.
We've all passed.
Yeah. Sometimes you catch them in the day.
OK, well, you'll be pleased to hear, and I'm pleased, that you've all passed with very good marks. And I'm well pleased, A, for you, and B, for me, because it means I've managed to put it over to you.
Are you absolutely positive that I don't have to do a retake?
100%.
I've got quite used to doing retakes now.
You've all done exceptionally well.
I stayed up until about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning trying to go through the stuff, much to the annoyance of my other half, who was forced to go through it with me and explain things. And I thought I'd prepared all right, but I always panic before the exam, and I know I'm going to have difficulties whatever happens.
Next time on Flying Doctors, the medics get to live out a schoolboy fantasy. Syed reveals a secret fear, and they're in hot water with Graham. It may look like something out of a schoolboy fantasy, but dressing up as firemen is a serious business for doctors Jason Easby, Scott McGregor, Johnny Ball and Syed Masood. They're spending 2 days at the Tyne and Wear Fire Brigade Training School as part of their preparations to join the Great North Air Ambulance.
Approach the car in the manner you were shown yesterday. All right. Everybody else, bomb burst in the way that we did. Okay. Simultaneous activity. We want the car stabilised. We want an equipment dump setting up. We want the tools working from the back so that you can reach all areas of the car. Okay. Once we've got everything that we need, the car stabilised. If you think he's head injured, delay it if you need to. Okay. Everybody happy? Okay. If you go across the appliance, I'll brief Syed, and then we'll get to work. Yeah. Same again, Syed. Head down. Unconscious. When they approach you, you're unconscious. Don't respond till we actually get your head into the neutral position. They've opened your airway. They're quite happy. Auto breathe for them. Start to recover gradually. Okay. Let them ask you things. Okay. And then eventually you come round, you start talking to them. We're quite happy. Complain about pains in your neck. The fact that you can't feel your legs is because we're going to play at the dashboard. It's actually going on and give you bilateral femur breakages. Okay. So recover slowly. Come round. Eventually you'll be breathing okay, and you'll be talking to them, and we'll extricate you in the way that we did yesterday. Happy?
Yep.
Okay, fine. So if you get in that position now, I'll get these to work. Casualty carers in. Let's get to work. Let's get the kit off. I want the kit setting up in this area, okay? Make sure everything's set up properly, make sure it's working, and make sure you can get to both sides of the incident.
Hello there, can you hear me?
While Scott looks after Syed, who's pretending to be the casualty, Jason and Johnny are responsible for getting him out of the car without causing further injury.
Don't worry about it. Okay. We're going to put...
Can't feel my legs, mate.
Yeah, we're going to put blankets on round. Now what we're going to...
What's going on?
What we're doing is just smashing the windows in the car. Don't worry about that.
No, this is my fault. I'd like to smash the glass.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I'm afraid we need to get you out.
My pride and joy, mate.
Yeah, I think that one there's too hard. We might not break that one.
Make sure you take down the fairy dice, yeah?
Yeah, we'll get them back for you.
Yeah.
I think they've...
This is good glass.
There we are.
You tell it.
They're not expected to come, learn everything about RTA extrication and then go away as experts. Okay? The idea is that I've got people, even in a medical profession, have never used the likes of longboards before, fitted collars and things like that, and they've never ever been to an RTA. What we do is we make them aware of exactly what the fire brigade capabilities are. Okay? What we've got, the sort of things we can do for the ambulance service when they turn up, which is the like of space creation, and then when we need to extricate the casualty, is give them a hand with plenty of hands on the stretcher and help them that way.
Right, you reposition your hands, right? See, I'm just going to take over your head again, okay? So I've got my hand on the right, my hand on the left.
My neck hurts, yeah.
Okay, you're doing fine. I'll just keep it nice and still for you. Okay, Steve's just going to get himself in an easier position to hold it for you. We're not in a position we'll get a collar on here this evening. Okay, so Steve's just going to hold on to your head again. Okay. Okay. That's it. How are you doing there, Side? You okay there?
Can't feel my legs.
Yeah, that's alright. We'll get you out of the car as soon as we can and then we'll have a look at your legs for you. Okay. You're doing absolutely fine there, though. You're going to hear them banging and crashing again. Okay. We're just keeping an eye. He's got a sore neck, so we're just stabilising his neck at the moment until we can get him out. Can't feel his legs. Sore, but can't feel them.
Right.
No obvious chest injury.
Right. We'll worry about his legs later on because at the moment he's trapped by the dashboard. We can't see what's happening. Breathing rates, let's say for argument's sake, is 20. He's breathing nice and deep. It's rhythmical and it's symmetrical, so we're quite happy there. You haven't found any damage anywhere else.
No.
Any obvious damage apart from his neck.
Nothing
and the fact he can't feel his legs.
Neck and legs.
We're happy at the moment.
We're
okay?
happy. Are we all happy in the car? We hear lots of equipment round about. We've got a pump that's working. That's where the noise is. Okay.
It's not coming near the car, is it?
It is, I'm afraid. That's to help you get out of the car. Because you're trapped by the dashboard, so we're going to have to push the dashboard away.
Pushing now.
Let's go on, keep it going. Keep it going. That's it, that's better. Excellent. Okay. Access the shut line a little bit more by clamping onto the door skin and walking the tool round. Remember you've got a trip hazard behind you though. Push it. Nothing.
In a few weeks' time, Scott, Syed, Johnny and Jason will be facing situations like this for real, as the Great North Air Ambulance becomes the first in the country outside London to carry doctors as well as paramedics.
Lift the roof away from the casualty, slowly. What they did was, during the course of the day, they actually gelled more as a team because they were starting to get into a routine, the sort of things I was expecting, the sort of things that they would be expected to do at an RTA.
Yeah, it's been excellent. Cutting up cars and pulling people out of them. It's been excellent. Hard work with. I'm roasted.
Very sweaty and very hot, but a really good experience. We really know what the other side feel like.
It was great once you got that team spirit together and everyone chopping in at the same time. It was great fun. It was a hive of activity.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I think I find it far more enjoyable chopping the things up than actually talking to the patient. But I suppose that's not my job, though, is it? Unfortunately.
Do you fancy being a fireman after this?
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I think one for the ladies, anyway.
The next day, the doctors are playing at firemen again, this time under the watchful eye of instructors from the Teeside International Airport Fire Service.
Okay, I'll be the first volunteer. Okay, so ensure your hands are right behind it. And Dave will walk in with you. Nice and slow.
That's it.
Right over the top, over the back, right over, reach over, pull it in tight, hold it there. Okay? Trying to let go. There you go. And we'll just move it a bit. Okay. Next one.
Yeah, make sure your hands are tucked in. Remember I said, weight on the back foot.
Big one for a helicopter.
Keep your hands protected.
Yeah, big one for it.
In you go. Put it on. Reach over the back. Right over. Pull it towards you tight. That's it. Done. Well done. Step away. Okay, in you go. In you go. Now push it over. Over the top. Right over. Go on. Pull it in. That's it. Yeah, let go. That's it. Step away. Right, we're going to go over to the fire school to do a simulated aircraft crash incident which is going to be involving a helicopter. There's going to be a series of fires, significantly bigger than what you've just put out there. For that reason, you're going to be with myself and Michael. If you're not happy with anything you're doing, let us know and we'll pull you back, okay? Any questions? Good stuff, right, we'll get you on the fire appliances. You can come over with us and we'll go from there.
Civilian stuff, I understand.
Go on this one here,
Fire crews from all over the world come here to the International Fire Training School at Teeside Airport to learn how to deal with aircraft fires and crashes.
Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to have a quick recce in. So, do you want to, we'll get this, we're going with this line here, just hang back a sec. Right, come on with me, come on. Right, stop running it. Right, we're going to go on with this line here. And we'll have a quick look. Okay, see where we are. Going to come in. Right, you can't actually get access into there because of the smoke. Yep. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get a breathing apparatus team in to check it out. Right, lads, in you go. Get stuck in. Get hold of him. Proper casualty care. Get hold of him. Watch where you're going. Away we go to a place of safety. Right, got your gear there. Full helmet removal. Right, we've got another one. Right, lads, let's have you out. We've had 2 casualties recovered. The third one has just arrived. Basic trauma care treatment out, so look to yourselves. Do you want to assist with the casualty? We've got another one to locate, which is on his way. Want to give a man with that casualty, mate? We've got a simulated helicopter incident with 4 casualties, or 4 persons on board, similar to what the air ambulance would be. A large fuel spillage, engine fire involved, which we've arrived in our foam tenders and extinguished the fire through the monitor using foam and water. The crews have got to work. 2 guys in breathing apparatus have made entry into the aircraft and rescued 4 casualties. A first aid station was set up, casualty handling area, which the 4 doctors dealt with the casualties as you saw, and they did a very good job.
The doctors are getting the chance to put into practice some of the skills they should have learned in ground school. Air Ambulance Chief Pilot Graham Laverton is putting them through their paces in a navigation exercise.
Okay, always check. So get the quarter mil out. Look at where we are now, which is Teesside Airport. Look at where North Allerton is. Okay, and is that, roughly speaking, 189 degrees and 10 nautical miles? Yes, it is. Okay, so, because the control room will give you the grid the wrong way around, they will give you the letters the wrong way around. So you must always look at it first and say, is that about right, where I'm going? Okay, happy with that?
Happy with that, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go there then. Okay, Matty? Yeah, go for it. What else do you see out there? If you have a look way out middle distance on the high ground there, at 12 o'clock, see anything stand out? There's a couple of pylons. A couple of masts, actually, they are. They're not high. Pylons wouldn't normally be that high, but there's a couple of radio-type masts. Oh yeah, I can see that on the map. Okay, so that, there you go. That's the next pointer, where we don't have to look at anything down here. We can now see it all the way to there. Yeah. So that's where your finger is, but that's as far as you can see. So you're projecting yourself out each time. So just less than 5 miles for that, according to my thumb. That's good. Okay, so we want to be looking outside for those features that we talked about. Yeah, so we're looking for a cross circuit on the left, and we're looking to cross the A1. You see the A66 on the right there anyway, I know. And what else was there? There was the line, the railway line stands out. The railway line, yeah. In the straight, it's normally got a tree line, like a hedgerow all the way down each side of it. Now, if I don't trust this, right, I do, then I would also get onto the map and find a map. It's not a matter of not trusting it, you would get onto your map as well anyway, because it may well pack it. Now, I'm going to have to talk to air traffic because I'm awfully close to the centre line.
Overhaul your map reading, navigation, excellent. I'll give you a 10 out of 10. Flight safety, airmanship, absolute shite. Remember that you're in an aircraft. Remember, I spoke to you about this not a week ago, about aircraft doors being left open. Loose articles, we opened the door, a mat fell out the door. We've got aircraft on dispersal, very expensive aircraft. We've got people's lives. Think about airmanship and flight safety. We'll go and do some more map reading. I expect that to be good after that first one. I want a 100% improvement on flight safety and airmanship.
Part of the course is cockpit resource management. And this is all about working together. There's 3 years working together. If we're not in this little room planning and organising things, you're in the cockpit. You've got to be able to get on together. You can't bring your problems or your troubles to work. You can't have fallouts and things like that, because majority of aircraft accidents are caused by cockpit resource management.
I think they need to have the capability to start from square one, as if they were going back to school again, and listen to everything that's being said, because it is a completely different atmosphere from an operating theatre, from a hospital, from a road ambulance, from the office. Once you move into the vicinity of the aircraft and within the cockpit, it's a different atmosphere altogether, and that's what they need to do, is to get into that atmosphere, to think aviation, and they'll be perfectly okay.
The final element of the doctor's helicopter training course is the part they've all been looking forward to most. All apart from Syed, that is.
One doctor is singled out today. Guess who?
Can you explain why you are wearing a red helmet and everyone else is wearing a blue one?
Well, it's because I'm very, very good, and they're expecting quite incredible things from me. That plus I can't swim.
So how worried are you about it, given that you can't swim?
Well, the fact that I'm talking dribble now is gives you a good idea. I'm very worried indeed.
Just look down, clear, just stand up straight and just step in down there. Don't jump out towards it, okay? Just step straight down there, the diver will pick you up, okay?
The doctors are at Newtech in Billingham to learn what to do if the air ambulance should ever ditch in water.
Okay, non-swimmer, John. Okay, toes to the edge, mate, feet together. Feet together. That's better, mate, okay. Just block your airway up, whichever hand you find convenient. Okay, one hand over the top, right over the top, grip your other shoulder. Okay, get a good grip. Quick look down, you're clear. Stand up straight, look straight ahead and just step down straight there, okay? Off you go.
The aims and objectives is to actually give these candidates the incentive and the chance to actually escape, and give them the confidence to escape from a ditched aircraft in water. We do get problems with the air ambulance saying, well, we don't operate over water, but in fact we're operating over water every day of the week, whether it's the River Tyne, reservoirs, over the coast of the northeast. So it actually prepares them for, in reality, if they do go in there, give them the confidence of getting out.
Stud going up, Davis clear. Brace, brace, brace.
Difficult. It's good. Excellent.
Okay, just go clear, guys.
I loved it. The 90-degree turn one was really disorientating, but as long as you knew you had the air pocket above you, then you could, you knew you had time really. But no, brilliant, really good. You all right, Johnny? Yeah. Ears are a bit funny actually.
What?
My ears are a bit funny.
Yeah, the ears go when you do that 180. Popping your ears as you come around. So that's good. That was excellent. It's great.
The final exercise simulates storm conditions, including wind, rain and rough seas.
Understood. Stand by for ditching. Brace, brace, brace.
That was class. He goes in the middle of the thing, goes, can we do another 180? I was going to stab him. I was going to stab him in the back.
Oh, yeah, 180 is class.
Was that as scary as you thought, Syed?
That's... Honestly, I really kept quiet about the fact I really did not want to do this at all. And then I just thought, well, you've got to do it because the boys will take the mickey out of me for the rest of my life. Yeah. It was a completely different thing when you came out and the waves were going up and down. You had the sort of spray blowing in your face, the wind was going, and it was quite sort of put a lot of atmosphere onto it. So it was good.
Yeah, brilliant.
Do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Want to do that 180 one again?
Yeah, that's good. That.
Syed, non-swimmer, no problems whatsoever. I think the only problem he actually encountered where we had to do a cross cabin, where that is to demonstrate one of the windows is actually jammed tight shut with airframe distortion. So he actually has to escape from another given exit. And of course, when you release inside a submerged aircraft, you're very, very buoyant. He actually ended up in the roof, but he still managed to find his way out because he had managed to identify his other exit to get out.
Next time on Flying Doctors, Scott's first mission of mercy on the air ambulance takes him to the Lake District. And Syed deals with a serious road accident, but the driver has mysteriously disappeared.
I've always had a problem, and a lot of people will probably sympathise with this, that you know, I have to look at a burger and I'll put on a stone and a half within the evening.
Syed Masood has more reason than most young men his age to worry about his weight. He's the youngest of 4 doctors about to join the crew of the Great North Air Ambulance. The heavier Syed and his colleagues are, the less fuel the helicopter can carry, and that affects how far it can fly to attend emergencies.
For the last 3 years, I've been training to become a specialist registrar in accident emergency. We have to do certain posts which usually last about 6 months. So I've done accident emergency for a while, I've done acute medicine, I've done orthopaedics, some surgery as well, and now I'm just doing anaesthetics. I realise that being young and being junior, there's a lot of pressure on me at the moment because I feel that I have to match the guys who are above me, and especially as they've got lots of anaesthetic skills and a lot of seniority and experience. I get accused of actually not relaxing. I haven't had a holiday in, I think, about 2 years or so, because if I'm not trying to progress my career, I'm trying to do extra shifts on the helicopter, always trying to do pre-hospital care in my spare time. If I do anything to relax, is fitness-based, really. Fitness is a very important part of what I do, and it is, to some degree, relaxing as well.
Syed soon gets the chance to prove himself. The air ambulance has been called to a serious road accident in rural North Yorkshire.
Got out of the vehicle himself.
The left arm's gone.
Yep.
Slight cut above left eye, nothing major. Right side of the rib pain. He's due in tomorrow because he's got a bit of a shadow on his lungs.
Right, so right finger, right side of rest, chest.
Low ribs. Other than that, pain. It's just right on the front side, isn't it, Keith? Yeah.
Right, lovely. Hello, Keith. My name's Dr. Masood, one of the air ambulance docs, OK? Just going to have a quick look at you before we start sorting you out.
All right, mate. All right. They're making tough, you see, where he's from. The doctor's going to have a listen. Well done.
Is that causing you pain, Keith, when you're breathing in? Yeah, it is, right.
If you're looking for an anaesthetist to put in a helicopter, or an anaesthetist really to put in any new and difficult situation, the first and most important criteria we look at are they good mates? Are they people who can fit into a team, who have the personalities that will create and develop the system? Because the skills by themselves aren't enough. And so we firstly choose people who are highly skilled but have the personality and the talents to develop very good working relationships very, very quickly and under stress.
I think it's the biggest responsibility I've felt since starting medicine. I feel it's more responsibility than when I'm in a hospital or whatever. I'm sure the others have mentioned that when you're in hospital, especially as a junior at my stage of training, I've got a registrar, a consultant, maybe even a senior registrar as well, who I can go to for advice. On the road, I've got nobody at all. I'm on my own, and everyone around me on the road is expecting me to make valued and correct decisions. And you've got people depending on you to make those correct decisions. The pressure also is because everyone is expecting you to be the best, because the helicopter lands and everybody kind of, you know, has a deep breath of sigh of relief at least, thinking that somebody's here who can make the difference. And if you don't provide that and you're not the best on the road, then you're disappointing everybody and disappointing the service, disappointing the charity, the hospital, the armed forces, and that sometimes scares me more than anything else, that we're not playing up there, we're doing the job for real, and we really are trying to make a difference for those people that unfortunately have had accidents for whatever reason.
What I suggest, gents, we don't know how bad this head injury is. He's got a distracting injury because of the chest. Yeah. So what I'd like to do is put him in a C-spine collar, put him on the spinal board, and have a good look at him then once we've got him on the spinal board. OK? Right, Keith, what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to put you in a neck brace. I know at the moment you're saying you haven't got neck pain, but because you're worried about your chest and your tummy there, right, it may be not helping you remember what you've done. OK? So I'm going to put you in a collar to be on the safe side. Then we're going to put you on a spinal board to protect your spine. Then I'll have a good look at you then, and then we'll pop you onto the helicopter and we'll go from there. All right?
Alrighty, good luck.
You got a line in, well done. Thanks, gents. Yeah. You don't need me.
You what?
Yeah. Sorted.
Can you hold the head in it? Right.
Can I, Matty, can we get a picture of the car so that we can show the hospital what kind of mechanism of injury, if possible?
As gentle as I can.
That'd be quite useful.
Grab hold of it like we do on the team. And then be straight on the
Right. I'm just threading it through, yeah. Happy?
It's a good jacket collar you've got on, isn't it, near there?
All right.
We'll tighten up now. Right.
Lovely. Well done, lads.
Let's just pop that down a bit.
I'll put the blanket back on top of you at the moment.
Oh! You all right, Keith?
We're going to just flatten you out. We're just putting these head blocks next to you. Well done.
Can we square the border for him now that he's on? Because he's leaning to one side.
Yeah, that's what's causing him the pain. So as soon as we've got the blocks on, can we get him onto a flat surface? And then I want to have a good...
Okay. I'm just trying to support him here. Oh.
Oh. Oh. Well done, Keith. You're doing well. Right, what we're gonna do is lift you up, put you on a flat surface into the warm ambulance, and then we'll have a good look at you there. All right?
On three, lift. 1, 2, and 3. What's that cord down?
Oh, I've gone off on the wall. Oh. You want to get up there now?
Yeah. Can are you all right there?
Take the weight there.
Yeah. Are you all right there, Doc? Just want to get one leg up. Right, can you get that one? Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah. Hang on.
Well done, Keith, lads. Well done, son. Nearly in. Yeah. Right, cheers.
Just turn Is there pain on that side at all? None at all. Is there any pain on there? Any pain there?
No.
Right. That's painful, is it? Right. What about pain there?
No.
None at all. Is there any pain on that side at all? Great. Any pain there?
No. No. No.
Okay, can we get a normal saline ready, gents?
Do you want him back on D-side?
It's not really figures.
We're going to move you now, you're all right.
We're going to move you on the aircraft.
I'm just wondering.
All right, and we'll look,
That's the best place we can get the aircraft, isn't it? Nowhere else. Nowhere else.
Just try and relax if you can. All right. I know it's difficult.
I'll be honest, I've had a good scout, like, that's the best place you'll get it.
It's not clear how the accident happened, but the driver of the Land Rover has disappeared.
All right, Keith,
the yellow ball when it comes up.
Right. 1, 2, and 3, and up we go. All right, you all right? Everyone all right?
Yep. Excellent. Just take your time, gents. Just nice and slow.
Drop it on now, Keith. It's ready. What it goes on? Is that head end?
Yeah.
End. That's it.
That's fantastic, well done. Right, start straight.
Oh. All right. That's yours, isn't it?
While you load that in, I'm just going to go and have a good look at it so I can tell the hospital what exactly there was.
Right,
Okay, so is that all right? Yeah.
You can shut that down and just knock it off. And
There's a helmet there, Des. Well, do you want to pick that up on the way back?
Yeah, no problems. Okay. Can we have him onto the SATS machine thing? I'll just go and have a quick look at the decent...
You can take the top end with me.
Yeah, I'll take the top end
Don't
with you.
lift that. Put your heads.
Yeah, just put your eyes on all those aerials. Right, hard. Gentle, slightly down at the back. Yeah. While we get the wheels on.
Syed is concerned that the driver of the Land Rover, who's disappeared, may be seriously injured.
I would definitely advise that you find the other guy. Right. Because if he's bent the windscreen...
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's definitely got serious problems and he needs to be checked out.
I think he needs looking at.
Yeah.
Do you know this gentleman at all?
No, I'm just passing by.
Well, basically 2 people in a Land Rover, head-on collision with a wall, basically. We're not entirely sure about the accident because the gentleman doesn't know how he did it in the first place. So there's been loss of consciousness. He's also got an injury to his right side, his chest, lower ribs. Lower ribs means that the potential is that he's probably hurt part of his abdominal system. One of the biggest organs there is the liver, so the potential is there that he might have damaged that as well. So he's talking to us and he's awake, which is good news. His SATs are all stable, so we're going to take him to James Cook University Hospital. And the other major worry is that the accident itself, if you look at the car, significant damage to the car, so we have to take that into account, and hence we're taking him to a trauma centre to be fully checked out. Cheers, gents, thanks very much.
Sorry, guys. That's yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
That one? Yeah.
I'll pop it in there.
You got it?
Yep.
Put that there.
Just get a few more.
The injured man has now recovered. The driver was traced a couple of days later and found not to have been seriously hurt. Dr. Scott McGregor is on his first emergency call on the air ambulance.
Cumbria Control, 393, you receiving a one?
Please, the two of you. Cumbria Control Air 393 receiving, go ahead. 6, 8.
Cumbria Control Air 393, we're estimating the scene at 1300 hours, 1300.
Scott, Air Support Unit Station Officer Matty Ward and Chief Pilot Graham Laverton are on their way to Haweswater Reservoir in Cumbria.
Yeah. I was checking to see where that was, 2189, but it's 962, so it's further up again. That's where we are, we're going here. Yeah. Quite a bit of sloping ground there, look. See how close the contours are? Yeah. I'm not sure we can get there though, looking at the slope. If we can't, then we'll send Scott up that steep hill there, look. Both bags? With the bag. Both bags? Both bags. Yeah. Somebody carry Matty as well. You might have to. Oh yeah, got him. Thanks for that. Cumbria Control Air 393, you received that one?
393, Cumbria Control receiving, go ahead.
393's landing on at Haweswater.
Thanks.
Okay, everybody happy for landing? Happy. Can we get down there, Graham? Yeah, we'll have a look when I go a bit further down, Matthew, just see what sort of slope it is. Ooh, we're pushing our pulleys there. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this slope, Matthew.
Yeah, all right. You'll stay there.
How far is my skid to go?
Your skid's got about 4 inches. Go on. Just about there. That's it. Have you got a radio, Scott?
On the radio, yeah.
Okay, I'll come with you.
We had a problem there in that the ground looked quite flat to me, and then when we got lower and lower down, I thought we've got a bit of a problem here. It was beyond the slope that was physically possible for the aircraft to land on. When we actually got down there were one or two places. One was too far away, and the other one was probably just about right, but on limits for the slope, which was 15 degrees actually. Any further than that, anything over 15 degrees, and we've got problems with the fact that the aircraft might try and slide down the side of the hill that we're on, or we could end up putting too much pressure on the main rotor system.
I do want to drop some new bean if I get things.
Judith Hargroves has fallen and injured her shoulder. She's in a great deal of pain.
You got the new bean there? Let's go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some painkillers here. This is quite strong stuff, so it may make you feel a little bit lightheaded. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little bit at a time. Okay. And let me know if you feel anything funny.
Judith, I'm going to have to ask you your date of birth. I know there's lots of people around, but you can whisper it to me if you wish.
It doesn't matter, 25 to 38.
Thanks.
Everyone knows when your birthday is now.
Well, my friend was just walking along the path here and just walking over the boulder just behind you, and she slipped and just twisted sideways. She fell and came down on her shoulder.
Yeah, we've got a lady who's been out walking and she's slipped and landed on her shoulder. It looks like she's probably dislocated her shoulder. She may have broken her arm as well. So all that we've done is we've just come and checked that she's fine, checked that that's her only injury, that she hasn't bumped her head, that she hasn't injured anything else, she hasn't knocked herself out. And then once we've ascertained that that's her only injury, seen that the arm's in a good position, the hand's fine, she's got blood going to the hand, the nerves are all working fine. We've popped in a drip, given her some painkillers to make her a bit more comfortable, and then we're just going to walk her across the helicopter. We're not going to lie her down on the stretcher because lying her down with her shoulder would be far too sore. So we're going to sit in the helicopter in my seat, and I'll sit next to her on the stretcher.
Can we get into your case
yes.
at the hotel? Yes.
When we get in the hospital, don't worry, because we can sit you down and the nurses will go through it all with you anyway.
Thank you.
So you don't need to worry.
Tomorrow, you see, with her son, we need to tell her son.
You're doing really well. That's it.
That's it. And then just
brilliant.
Calm down. That's it. Now, are you comfortable there? Yes.
I'll pop that. I'll pop that harness on for you.
You're tied in.
Nine rotors.
There's hardly time for a cup of tea before Scott, Graham and Matty are on their way again, back to the Lake District.
6 for Keswick. Element 63 Alpha Combine. Startup is approved. QNH 1011. 011 63 Alpha Combine. Don't want to have a double engine failure.
I'm not terribly keen on having one anywhere.
Yeah, me too. Right then. We've got 3.5 miles to the side of the lake. Anybody see a Bueland's for me?
Down in that alcove by the looks of it.
I've got something white down there.
Yeah, it's down there.
at the farm?
Right. It's just through that alcove.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the road runs up. There must be that farm at the back there.
Okay, clear out.
It's grand, but it'd be nice to just have the option of getting anything else we need.
Stay high, Stephen.
It's another fall. This time, a farmer has fallen and badly broken his leg. He's in a lot of pain.
What's that pain like now, Stephen?
Starting to throw a bit.
Starting to throb a bit. Yeah, we'll give you some more of that gasanera. There you go. It's nearly empty, but...
The gas and air isn't helping much, and Scott decides to give him some pain-killing drugs.
Oh, wow.
That's the one.
Right, so I'm going to give you a little something into drip here. Okay, this is quite strong painkillers and it might make you feel a bit lightheaded. Okay, let me know if you do.
You've got the strong thumbs, you come up and say. I'm not going to unclip this until he's had a little bit of pain relief because he's going to need a bit of support.
So we'll just give 5 just now. And we'll see, there we go.
I'll push it together. You've got the strong, and I've got a pedal pulse.